What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another build video for the 2004 CRF250. In this video I'm going to go ahead and start tearing down the top end of the engine. I'm not going to get into the bottom end yet. I'll do that in a completely separate video because those are two different worlds usually. So I'm going to go ahead and start tearing down this top end. It's not going to be so easy just because I can't put the timing into top dead center because the engine is completely locked up. So I'll start pulling the engine apart now and see what it takes to get that top end off of there. Alright guys, so first things first is you're going to pop this head cover off. I'm going to take this hose off here. This is just a breather hose. And these look like they might be 12s. Oh, they're 10s. 10 mil for those. Actually, one thing I will do is I'm gonna grab my air line and I'm gonna blow this out. If you put a air gun in there and blow it out, it blows out the port where the spark plug goes. Put your air gun in there like that. It just kind of blows all the debris out, so when you take your spark plug out, you don't have anything go in your engine. Not that it matters from this one, but just for educational purposes, I guess. This engine definitely has worse problems than a little bit of dust in the cylinder. So with that done, you just kind of pop the head off here, or the head cover. And then from there, normally you'd be in top dead center here, but like I've been saying, can't really do that. So I'm going to take these cam bridges off and see if I can take this cam out. But first of all, I've got to take out the chain tensioner. So that's just a couple of 8 mil bolts. I'm just trying to find a better angle for you guys to be at here. So the next step is taking the cam chain tensioner out. So this is the adjustment, or this is the bolt you take out, and this is where you put the tool in to set it when you reinstall it. But we're not going to worry about that now. You can just take these other two out, and just simply take the tensioner out. And then after that, the chain should be loose, but I don't think it's going to get loose for me because everything is locked up. So this might be a little tougher than I want it to be. So I'm going to take the cam bridges off and see what happens here. Now I imagine there's probably thrust clips or something in there, so you've got a longer one on the exhaust side, on both on here, and then two shorter bolts on the intake side. Let's see if I can get this one of these to pop off. Everything's kind of under tension here, so I gotta kind of watch what's going on here. There's probably a couple of dowels in there, I'd say. Hoping to get this done with just my hands. I don't want to put any tooling in there because I think these are just there we go. Now you gotta watch for right here. See these clips here? You really don't want to. If you're doing just like a valve lash or something like that on these, you don't want to be dropping these down in there anywhere, especially down in the bottom there. So these are marked. See if that picks up on the camera here. So that's marked with an R. So that's the right hand side, because if you're sitting on the bike, this would be the right hand side. And it points says IN, so that's towards the intake, so that's easy enough to remember. And then this one is marked with an L, and the arrow is pointing that way towards the intake side. What's that? Oh, let's see if I can get this off of here. I'm going to use one of these bolts, put it into here, it'll go. I think this is the same thread. No, it isn't, so I'm going to go get a bolt. I'm pretty sure I got bolts that'll fit that. Just a little bit of leverage to try and wiggle that out of there. See if I can help it with a dead blow. There, that moved it. Make sure you use a dead blow if you do this. Don't use anything metal. Oh yeah, that's under a lot of tension. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. So I'm gonna have to really watch taking this apart, because I'll get my fingers pinched in there or something like that. There goes that clip. This is almost like it's ready to shoot across the garage. There's a lot of tension in there. I'm gonna get a magnet, get this little clip out of there. That's the one that you don't want falling in when you do a valve set or whatever. Keep them together. Now, what can I do about this? I guess I'll just lightly pry with a screwdriver and hope it doesn't flip out on me. There, just tension just released there, it felt like, so yeah. Alright. So, I'll try and get this out now. There we go. Alright. Well, first look, the cams aren't looking too bad. So there's what should be your timing marks right there. So that's supposed to sit parallel with your cases. We'll see if I can show you this in here. In here where the bolts go, you got to line up this little shaft in there. And I'll push it out a bit. You see it poke out here. That shaft keeps the exhaust bridge in. So you push it out and you can take the exhaust bridge out. So this pin here goes all the way through. That keeps the exhaust bridge in. How you get this out is you take this cap out and remove it, and then this whole thing will come right out. But I'm gonna probably worry about that later. For now, I'm probably going to just go ahead and remove the cam buckets, and that'll be good enough for me to be able to get this head out of here. So to get this spark plug out, I'm just going to use an impact. When it's out on the bench, it's just easier to use an impact, because when you're trying to torque on it, the whole engine wants to move. So, and it comes out pretty easy. So I don't usually like doing that, because like, you don't know what people are going to do. If someone puts like red Loctite or something on stuff, that's what'll get you in trouble when you use an impact, taking stuff out, because sometimes it can tend to tear soft metals out like aluminum and stuff like that. Like these bolts right here. You want to be careful because someone could have, for whatever reason, red Loctited these in here, and it might damage the threads as you're pulling it out with an impact. I suppose that it would do it anyway, but maybe it would just be a little less with the taking it out slow, or even, you know, if you start taking it out and you realize it's really really hard to take out, you can always throw some heat at it, and then you can kind of get it out of there without beating up the threads. But if you do it with an impact, then that's it. It just rips everything out and it's all done. But I got that spark plug out now. So now I'll get these cam buckets out of the way. Now you gotta be careful, because usually inside these cam buckets there's shims. So the usually it sticks in there because of probably a little bit of combination between the magnetism and the oil that's left in there. But you just want to watch when you're taking those out. I'm not going to bother paying attention to which one comes out of where, just because I'm going to do a complete valve set on this when I reinstall. So I'm not going to bother paying attention to what goes where, because I don't even know if these are in spec. I have no idea. So I'm going to have to redo it all when I go in anyway, when I reassemble this. So now that I have those out of the way, these aren't going to go anywhere. I might take this this exhaust bridge out later on, but for now I'm just going to take this cylinder head off, and then I'm going to see what's inside or I'm going to take the head off, and then I'm going to see what's inside the cylinder after. So these are 14 mils, so there's 2 here and there's 2 here. Take the inner ones out first. Now you should take these off in like a crisscross pattern, but because this engine's so jacked, I don't think it matters at this point. I'm taking them off in a crisscross pattern, but what I'll usually do is like back it off a little bit, back it off a little bit, back it off a bit, and just go in increments. But like I said, this thing's all blown up anyway, so. And there's washers inside here, so just make note of that. Alright, now that those are out, now just these little guys have to come out of here. And then after that, I should be ready to start taking this, taking that head off. And once you get stuff cracked free, like I cracked those free, I can tell that they're not gonna do any damage coming out. You can just go ahead and zip them out. Just like that. And then you should be good to start taking the head off here. Yeah, it's already starting to give there. Always a dead blow. Don't use anything else. Don't pry in there with anything. Don't use a steel hammer or for an aluminum hammer or a copper hammer, always a dead blow. If you don't have one, then you gotta get one. It'll come free eventually. So now you go ahead and wiggle the head off of there. Set that out of the way. And then we got the chain guides here. And when you're taking these cylinders out of there, you just got to remember that when you're pulling the cylinder out, that chain has to be out like this. If you leave it draped over, it's gonna catch in here. So now I'm going to take off this cylinder, but that bolt has to come out. And then we'll see what's going on with that crank rod. I'm suspecting is completely trashed. Again, always a dead blow. Just kind of like, I'm just kind of pulling up on it as I hammer back and forth. Just got to get past the dowels. Once you pass the dowels, then you should be able to take this head right out, or take this cylinder right out. Just like that. Didn't even catch on anything. Look at that. Alright, so we're in luck. The cylinder seems to be intact. So that's good. I was really worried about this top end being super locked up and broken. So I'm pretty happy about that. Alright, so I got it turned sideways on the bench here. It looks like this thing kind of came to rest at like what looks to be like bottom dead center here, like right at the bottom of the stroke. So I'm kind of trying to, because I got all the top end off and everything's out of the way there, I'm trying to turn this again, and it's not, doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. So I'm definitely gonna have to get into that bottom end. I can feel it kind of want to go over here while I'm pulling like this. I can feel it move, but it's just jammed right up. Alright guys, so I just went ahead and gave up trying to turn this engine, and I put the cap back on. I had my breaker bar out. I didn't go too crazy, but that's not going anywhere, so everything is completely locked up in the engine. So I'm gonna have to definitely take that bottom end apart before I see what's happening in there. But before I do that, I've got to take this flywheel cover off, and I'm waiting for the tool to pull that flywheel off. So that'll definitely all be in another video, but that is definitely, you know, not the ideal way to disassemble these top ends, but that's basically how you do it anyway. So, but like I said, in the next video, I'm going to be disassembling this bottom end and seeing what's going on inside there. But that is going to be in the next video, guys. So if you're new to the channel and you want to see the carnage going on inside that bottom end there, Make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell. That way the next video I post will come up in your notifications. So with that said, thanks a lot for watching this video, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.